it once more.
No, let me do it by myself. You go away.
Good afternoon, Colorado. Good afternoon, people listening outside of Colorado. This is Josh with K4CO Radio. Man, it is a beautiful Monday. If you're listening outside of Colorado and you have a bunch of snow, give it back. We want it back. Sitting here with Vice President Sarah Duke. How's it going?
Hi, it's good. I kind of want to just break into song like I did a moment ago because we're going to be talking about musicians. Monday.
You know it.
There, that's the only time you're ever going to hear me sing.
That's the only time?
Probably.
All right, well, make sure our producer, Jacob, captures that, and then we'll just loop it
Yes.
over and over.
Sounds terrible. I'm so sorry for all of our, because I know we have a huge following of musicians, so now you know why I'm not one, and we interview.
That's right.
Yes.
If you are listening on K4CORadio.com or the K4CO Radio mobile apps, or one of the 30 plus directories that we are on, do know that you can go to the K4CO Radio media platforms, social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of that fun stuff. And you can see our wonderful faces because we have a great guest today. You know, we started this radio station because we really wanted to have a platform for local musicians and local artists that just are very passionate. In fact, a lot of our musicians, you know, they have their full-time jobs and it's their passion projects that they do. And that's why I'm really excited for this next guest. Because he kind of does the exact same thing, but I'm going to let Sarah introduce our guest right now because I always do.
You are so sweet, and do pass the baton over to me to introduce our amazing guest. This is really cool that we get to kind of collaborate with someone who's doing something similar and just spreading the love for the musicians. So for all of our musicians, I hope your ears are all kind of peaking up with interest here, as they should, because it's all about who you know, where you are, what you're doing. So definitely take a listen to this one. So his name is Fast Eddie, which I love that name. And he is the host of the Local Vibe podcast. And for those of you that are in front of your tablet, your computer, or your phone, I'm going to give you where you can find the Local Vibe podcast. He's on Facebook, the Local Vibe Music Podcast on Facebook, Instagram at the Local Vibe Music Podcast. And you can also contact Eddie at the Local Vibe 2025 at gmail.com. And his phone number is 720-460-6908. And the Local Vibe podcast is all of that. It's the local vibe musicians here in Colorado.
That's right. Follow them on Facebook, the Local Vibe Music Podcast, Instagram, and yeah, contact them, especially if you're a local Colorado musician, because we're going to get into why you should contact them and go on the podcast.
I agree. And all these are on YouTube. And do us a favor, definitely subscribe to the YouTube. That way you are notified all of the time, because especially if you're a musician or you just love music, if you're in a Colorado scene, please subscribe. So it's youtube.com/at the Local Vibe Music Podcast, or you can just go on YouTube and search, but make sure you subscribe and follow the YouTube channel.
That's right.
All right, Fast Eddie, how are you?
Good, I'm good, doing good. Thank you for having me.
I feel like we need to speed up and be really fast.
Yes.
How and why did you get into this podcast?
Yeah, very good. So I'm a musician myself. I've been a musician since the age of 10, and I moved to Colorado, 14 years ago now. And, one of the first things that I did when I arrived here to Colorado from San Antonio was I was looking for the music scene. And like I said, it took me a little bit to find it. And then when I finally found it, I was like, okay, so we do have a lot of musicians here, right? And over the years, as I've been playing with bands, and I do play with a local cover band here in Colorado called Iron Philly, and we are a full-time band. We play quite a bit throughout the year, and I started thinking about, I want to give a little bit more back to the community, and my vision was that I would bring in local artists. So that's kind of where the Local Vibe came from, and I wanted to create a vibe in my home studio where I could cater to local musicians, bring them in. Number one, have them play music, because that's, majority of them like to play. Set up a situation towards plug and play. They come in, they just bring their instrument, and we sit down, we talk about other things that most of the time when we go out and we see a band, we don't really know their background or kind of what their history is. Mm-hmm. This way with the Local Vibe, we could talk about where they grew up and, how they got into music, what instruments they play, what bands they play with. And then one of my most important questions is, how they give back to the music community.
that's
in
awesome.
their roles, within their bands.
Right.
So that was kind of my vision of what I wanted to do with the podcast.
And you came here from, you said San Antonio.
San Antonio, yep, South Texas.
So, all right, the difference in the music scene between
Yeah.
Denver and San Antonio.
Yeah, very, very different. Very different. Yes.
Tell us a little bit what differences are kind of there.
Yes.
And I mean, I know it takes a little while to get into the local music scene.
Sure,
But once
sure.
you are in it, you discover a lot of great artists.
Correct. Yeah. And there's a lot of venues and a lot of functions happening that support the local artists here. But back to your question about the difference, so San Antonio, it's it's the heart of Texas that we like to call the heart of Texas, because the music that comes out of San Antonio it's a mix of country and Spanish music mixed together, and they call it Tejano music. So it's really big for Tejano music. And even from, like local cover bands or original artists out of Texas or San Antonio, almost in every event that you go to, every venue, you'll have some Tejano mix of music come out within those bands, right? So very, very different from here, where here you will find the Spanish rock and more of the Spanish music, but maybe not so much of the Tejano style music, which again, it's country and Spanish mixed together. Is what that is. Yeah.
What kind of, you started the podcast how long ago?
I started in November of last year.
In November of last year.
Yep.
And so with your podcast, and everybody on our radio, if you're just tuning in, the podcast is called the Local Vibe Music Podcast. You can see all the episodes on YouTube under the Local Vibe Music Podcast. What is it open to all genres? Is there certain genres that you're looking for, certain genres that you don't really look for on this podcast?
Good question. No, it's for me, it's been open to all genres, right? And again, anybody that's local within what I call the Front Range, so the Springs, Pueblo, up to Fort Collins, I wanted to open it up for all genres, solo artists, solo musicians, original bands, even cover bands to come in and, number one, spend some time in the studio playing music, and then also getting into the podcast interviews.
Nice.
Yeah, so all genres are welcome for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great different genres here. I mean, of course, we have submissions everywhere from blues to country to mellow to, you name it. So
Right. And in my short time, I've already had quite a few different genres. I've had some country artists. I've had some Spanish rock artists, some local musicians, songwriters, that kind of stuff. So
I'm curious, has there already been a musician or a band that came in that really stood out for you?
yeah, there's been quite a few.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, there's been quite a few. A few weeks ago, I had a band by the name of Soul Over Luna. And Carla Vanessa, she is the performing artist of La Macarena. You guys might remember that from back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And gosh, we had such a great time. Yep, that's right.
You're gonna do it.
For those of you that aren't watching, man, you're missing it.
Right. Yeah, we had such a blast. And again, that was like when we finished that podcast, I was like, this is exactly what I was wanting to get out of this podcast, right? Is you learn a little bit more about the artists and their background and their story, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
And how she ended up in Colorado, right? Like, hey, what are you doing here in Colorado? How'd you get here? And so it was a great podcast. But yeah, I've had some great musicians come through already so far. A lot of songwriters, which is amazing to talk to and talk about and tap into their brains about how they're writing music and kind of skills and ways to do that. So have had a lot of people come in that are original songwriters, yeah, which is great. Some that write lyrics, some that perform, some that are vocalists and musicians. Kind of a mix of both. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely one of my favorite things is when you're talking to, especially a singer-songwriter. Behind any musician, there's a passion, especially behind the singer-songwriter style. And I really love hearing that passion and getting down to the behind the scene, kind of what leads your passion. Why do you write? What makes you write? What are your inspirations? Which you do in your podcast. Right. So that's kind of the talking part. Now with your podcast, they come in, as you said, plug and play.
Yes.
So how much of the podcast is the interview? How much of the podcast is the live?
Yeah, so I would say it's probably, 75% is the podcast interview questions and the 25% is the actual performing the music. However, I would say that, but, this past week we had a band that came in that just had tons of energy and we spent a little bit more time playing music. So, again, it's kind of a hit or miss, but typically what I like to do is They'll come in, they'll perform their songs. If there's some hit songs that they have, or there's some singles that are going to be released, they'll come in and play those first, and then we'll sit down and kind of do the interview podcast. Yeah, so it's kind of a 75-25%, I'd say.
Gotcha.
I'm curious with the different naming. I'm always curious with how people come up with their names. So Local Vibe is kind of self-explanatory, but
Sure.
was there something that stood out to you for Local Vibe music that you said, yes, this is suiting me and what I'm after?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, number one, the loco comes from being, catered to local musicians here in Colorado, right? And then also the fact being that we have a lot of talent up and down the Front Range. And for me, it was about, I want to go find that talent, right? And bring them to the studio and talk to them. So that was kind of the local piece. And the vibe was like, hey, just the vibe between musicians, right? I wanted to create that piece, especially when I invite them to my home studio to bring them in for that. That's the kind of vibe that I want to create for them, right? So I think that's kind of where that came from.
You had mentioned you're going out a lot. Are you scouring Colorado, or are they coming to you, or is it a mixture of both?
Right now, it's a mixture of both. Yeah,
Okay.
when I first started, I was kind of doing a little bit more of that, kind of going out and trying to find some artists. And but lately, over the last few months, I've been getting a lot of contacts and emails where people are hearing about the name.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I hear about your podcast. I hear it's a great time, and I want to come. And that's
awesome.
exactly what I want. Yeah, I want to be able to create that environment for people.
Yeah, I want to make sure the musicians know. So you're kind of your Centennial, Aurora, Denver-ish. So for me, I'm a native here, believe it or not, and I never know what city I'm really in because
Right,
I
right.
never know boundaries.
It
but
changes a lot, too.
It does change a lot. It's So you're close enough for people to get to you, which is great.
Right.
Sounds like you're very centralized here in Colorado. So definitely all of our musicians, if you haven't checked out this podcast, Local Vibe Music Podcast, check it out. It is streamed live on YouTube. It's also recorded, which is amazing. That's very cool. And you're booked out, you said, until I think May. Is that what you said?
Right now
So,
I have artists on the schedule. I'm only doing one podcast per week, so
Okay.
once a week was kind of my plan, and I do them on Thursday evenings.
Okay.
And we do a live stream. But since people have been kind of reaching out, I've been creating other days as well. So Fridays, and I'm even doing one this Saturday.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah.
feel you, Fast Eddie. We
Right.
feel you. It's a good problem to have.
It is, yeah. Because at the same time, I want to be able to get people in. They're excited about it when they call, so I want to be able to get them in fairly quickly.
Right.
So one of the things I've been saying in my podcast is like, hey, hang tight. We'll get you on the schedule. We'll get you in, and we'll figure out a date.
Yes.
So, but the base is I like to do one per week.
Yeah.
But again, as that grows, I'm going to grow as well, and that's kind of my plan as it evolves to more.
For sure. You had mentioned too earlier, I think off air, that I didn't know if you wanted to thank or give a shout out to your sponsors that help keep you going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My number one sponsor right now is Event and Airport Transportation LLC, and a good friend of mine, Ernesto, and he has a private shuttle business that he basically picks people up from the airport. He also does Red Rocks and does private events for Red Rocks, and he's all over the city. He also picks up some of my artists and brings them to the studio and kind of hangs out with us as well. So it's very, very fun. And he's been there for me since day one. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Nice.
yeah, absolutely.
So you're booked out quite often, which is awesome. But how do you find your guests? I mean, what's been kind of the main thing? So, of course, I'd say it's very nice when they come to you.
Right.
But I'm sure you've gone out a lot as well.
Yeah, so a lot of it is just that, right? It's the networking. I go out to venues and events where local musicians are playing, and again, original artists, solo artists, and then basically have that conversation, dialogue with them. In between the breaks, catch them at the beginning or the end, and explain to them a little bit about what I'm doing. And most of the time, when people hear about it, that hey, it's dedicated to local musicians.
Right.
I mean, right away they're like, oh yeah, sign me up. I want to do that. So I haven't had any problems there. It's actually been really nice. But yeah, I've been kind of going out and finding artists. I really love the female vocalist artists. Like it's just something about that. I do vocals as well, but not like the female vocal artists are just amazing.
You can't
For
sing
me,
like
it's
the females?
No, I can't. Not quite that high. But anyways, for me, it's just something about their voices that cutting through the mix, right, at those ranges. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I love to get the female artists and vocalists in and just spend time with them and talk to them about their backgrounds. Yeah.
Well, how often are you performing with your band?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Last year, oh my gosh, we were in the range of 30 plus gigs throughout the year. So we were pretty busy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, busy, busy around the mainly South Denver metro areas. But we've played some other gigs in downtown Denver, done some consignment gigs at different places. So we stay busy with that band as well. And then at some point in time, we were like, we have to hit the brakes and take a little bit of a break because we were really busy, you know.
Okay.
Weekend after weekend, you know, kind of catching gigs. And same thing there. It was just kind of more of word of mouth, and people go and they hear us play and they hear us perform. And hey, I want you to come over and play this gig for me. Hey, come over and, you know, do this weekend, that sort of thing. And yeah, we stay busy.
Nice.
What, do you have anything upcoming?
Yeah, we do. As a matter of fact, let's see here. On the 20th of February, we're going to be at Shifters,
Okay.
which is down in Inglewood. And so we'll be there. I believe that's a Friday evening. We'll be there. I think it's a fairly new renovated area. They renovated the bar and the restaurant. So we're going to be performing there on the 20th. And then on the 28th, we are performing at a new place called Nene's Famous Door. And they are in Aurora, Colorado. And it's a billiards place. And this will be the first time for him getting in a local cover band as well.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And tell me the name of your band again.
So the band is called Iron Philly.
Iron Philly.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can also find us on YouTube and Facebook as well. And there's a couple of emails and some contact information for booking gigs there.
Awesome. And what is kind of your genre ish?
Yeah. So
I always say that a lot of times bands and singers are they name about 15 different genres.
Right.
So I never know.
yeah.
how to
I mean,
ask.
we can cater to a lot of different venues, but our primary is 90s rock and alternative. That's kind of where we want to be in that range.
Cool.
So then
Oh,
you can
that's
kind of
up
tell
your alley for
yeah,
sure.
you can tell how
Josh.
old I am when I say that, right?
Oh, yeah, that just answered.
You're
Yeah,
right there with me. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Can you tell?
Jeans and a t-shirt all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You were representing.
No, it's funny because we were talking about, well, we play classic rock. We're like, well, what do you mean classic rock? Like, what is classic rock
Exactly.
now? You know?
Today's world and classic rock is very different than when we grew up
Right,
with classic
right,
rock. Even
exactly.
metal is different.
Right.
Heavy metal, it's different. So
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely. But yeah, we stay busy. So yeah, come check us out. And yeah, we're a high energy band. So we put out, and again, if you want to know where Fast Eddie comes from, you'll see me perform and then you'll be like, okay, there's Fast Eddie.
There it is.
I know. I mean, you're welcome to
There he
explain
is.
why you're fast Eddie. So, I mean, if it's, yeah, 'cause you definitely talk fast, which is
Right.
good. I can see
Yep,
that
yep.
you're just,
Yeah,
you're
it's
on a
definitely
mission.
from the high energy and the talking, you know. So that's where that comes from. Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
said you sing, correct?
I do, yes.
Do you play any instruments
Yeah,
as well?
I play several instruments. As a matter of fact, yeah, multi-instrumentist. I play rhythm guitar right now with Iron Philly, but I also play drums and I play keys and I play bass as well.
So you do the whole thing.
I do pretty much. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I sure can. Yeah.
Man,
Nice.
That's
I've always been jealous of people that can play guitar and drum. I think you have to start with drums. Did you start with drums?
I started with drums, yeah, when I was 10 years old in a church band. That's how I started playing.
Yeah, because I started definitely with, well, piano, but then guitar. And now it's like my hands and my feet cannot work independently from each other. So
yeah.
I just cannot do drums.
That's the cool thing about drums is that you learn how to move each hand at different tempos
Exactly.
and your legs as well, you know. So,
Now I'm just too old of a dog to learn new tricks, so it doesn't work
Yes.
that way. For people watching on our social media, you kind of see the information on the lower side, so make sure to grab a pen. For all of our audio only listeners on K4CORadio.com and the mobile apps, K4CO Radio, wanted to go over this again. So local artists can contact email the local vibe 2025 at gmail.com. localvibe2025 at gmail.com, and the phone number is 720-460-6908. So make sure to write that down and contact Fast Eddie to see about coming on in. I want you to tell us a little bit about your setup. You said it's kind of a plug and play. What would, I'm sure bands, when you're talking to them either over email or phone, they ask, okay, what is your setup like?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So basically, I wanted to create a plug and play, situation, right? So musicians could just bring their instruments. So typically, guitarists they'll bring a guitar, or and then bass players will bring their bass. Although I do have spare guitars and I have bass, a lot of them prefer to bring their own. And then I have multiple amps available that we can hook up, and we can also stream with. I have audio interfaces that I hook up, but they come in, and I have a full drum set as well. So the drummer could come in. All the drummer has to do is bring a set of drumsticks. Right. So very easy for him, right? Him or her. They show up and they sit down, they play, and then I get everybody mic'd up, and then we shoot the podcast. So it's very, very easy from that site. And then I also have some seating, some couches, so people could sit down once we start doing the interview. So I can do about 5 or 6 typically in a band right now. It's big enough for that, for 5 or 6 people.
With some seating area for people who wanted to come.
Yeah,
with the
so if there's a
band
guest that want to also come by, and I've had a band this past week and they brought a photographer, so they came in and they were taking photos as well. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's a pretty good setup.
As a podcaster, I'm curious because we're all interviewees and interviewers.
Sure.
I prefer being on this side, interviewing people. I
Right.
get really nervous when I'm in your shoes. I mean, you're knocking out of the park. It's very interesting to me.
Right.
Being an interviewer, is there anyone out there that has influenced you, that kind of helped inspired you, your show, your flow, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there's probably several podcasters out there. There's a few from South Texas that I really listen to a lot that have kind of provided the inspiration. But I tell you, the real inspiration came from in 2025. I emceed a huge conference, and one of the production, matter of fact, the CEO of the production said, "You have a really great voice. You should definitely take advantage of that." And I was talking about, well, I've been thinking about a podcast. She's like, "Do it, like absolutely do it." So that's kind of where the main inspiration came from, and that was last September.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a few podcasters out there that I like to watch, and definitely get some inspiration from.
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
pretty good. So you heard, man, I have a killer voice, and 2 months later, you're off.
Yeah,
and about.
again, Fast Eddie is, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So
Got
I
it.
did it
You were
pretty
living
quick.
up to your name, Fast Eddie.
Yeah.
It is like you don't let the paint dry.
From
Well,
September to November is when I had my first guest. It was a pretty quick turnaround.
yeah. Nice. Who was your first guest?
Yeah, so my first guest was a gentleman by the name of Jim Lee.
Okay.
And he runs also a local, talking about, giving back to the community, called Flash Jam. And Flash Jam is kind of like, hey, I want to play that song with a group of people that I don't know. I want to sign up to be the lead singer. I want to sign up to be the lead guitarist. And he has these venues where they perform that all night, and they'll do several songs, and people could sign up. And it's a great networking community area where people can meet other musicians.
Nice.
So he was my first guest that I brought on.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I love our community. It's amazing how much talent that we truly have.
That's right. That's right.
it all over Colorado. I'm always amazed when people are performing. I mean, it just knocks my socks off. I had no idea until I really got into the scene
Right.
that it's absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah, and to that point, in the back of my business card, it specifically says this is dedicated to local musicians. Because again, that was the thing, is that the talent that we have out there is amazing.
It is very cool. And I love that you're also a musician. Josh and the 2 other founders were musicians and have been musicians for 30 plus years. And I love that once you're in the scene and you see this need, right, of people to have awareness and get your voice out. And I don't know if you say the same thing, but when musicians come on, I always tell them, you never know who you're singing in front of.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, it could be, I know that the dream is, these big venues, but a lot of times people are heard in these teeny tiny little venues
Right.
with 10 or 15 people, and it's that person that walks by that hears you.
Yeah.
And I always say, keep going, because you never know who's listening.
Yeah, and sometimes you hear those stories where, like, hey, I was playing in this small, even some of the greatest artists, you hear those stories. Like,
Yeah.
I used to play at this place in this small town,
Yep.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. You just never know,
It's very cool. Well, thank you for what you're doing for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's,
Absolutely.
It's very important, very needed.
And yeah, you've had some really great artists, and you just started, which is great. I mean, Jake Gill, Vetras, Jeff Thomas, Trevor Jones. But I did want to give a shout out there because we absolutely love this woman, and her band too, especially her guitarist. But you have Bailey and Laura coming in next month, and you are going to have a lot of fun
Nice.
with them. So
They're very talented
Nice.
and
Yeah.
fun and nice, the whole 9 yards.
Yep, Freddie and Isaac, the guitarist. Her voice is just incredible. She's gonna be good. So, what are some other ones that are coming up that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, I have to go back and look at my schedule because I got them all down there. And even where I live by that phone, like, okay, what do I have this week? What do I have next week?
Oh yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's just I got some great people coming in. She's probably one of them as well. I got some solo artists coming in next couple of weeks. There's James Drake is coming in. Tyler James, he's coming in as well. There's a couple other folks from the Springs area that are coming in. Yeah, so there's quite a few people that I have come into the studio that I'm looking forward to. And again, to treat everybody the same and have them come in, play their songs. Do you have something out there that's a new single or it's a new original? Let's get it up on the air. That's kind of my dream there with the podcast.
And I bet it's pretty different, when you have a band coming in versus a singer-songwriter coming in versus singer. What in your experience has kind of been your vibe difference in that? I mean, when you're catering to a band, it's definitely, in my experience, a lot quicker, a lot more encompassing, everything, trying to get everybody in. But singer-songwriter is a lot more intimate, I guess.
Sure.
And a little in depth.
Yeah, so with that, what I try to do is just do kind of more of an acoustic session, right? If there's a single songwriter that's going to come in and they're going to just do one or two songs, try to make it more of a more of an intimate setting, right? If it's a full band, of course, we'll have the full band set up as well. But just being able to balance between if they're going to be one person or five people,
Right.
And I just kind of base it on that. As we're exchanging emails back and forth to get a little bit more information, I send them a welcome letter that has all the details. And then that allows me to kind of prepare for what I'll need to do when they're showing up at the studio.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Has there been a particular interview side of it that surprised you the most so far?
I would say maybe not one in particular, but what I'm really enjoying is from the songwriters, right? From their information and being able to pick their brains about how they're writing songs and how they come up with it. So the writing, the lyrics, that's been great. And also I had Trevor Jones is going up for state representative here in Colorado. So he's also a musician that's from New Orleans. So that was a really great podcast. It's on there as well, and right here in our hometown, right? So state representative, which is great.
Nice. Very cool.
Heading into the rest of 2026, man, am I still stuck in 25? We're there.
I'm stuck in the 90s, apparently.
You are, but it fits you. You wear it very nicely. Where do you see it heading? I know you're already booked out really into May, but where would you like to see your podcast go?
Yeah. So, obviously I want to continue to cater to the local Front Range, right? Up and down the Front Range. And continue to get the artist in the doors, but I'm really hoping that here in the near future I can take it off site and want to get into a commercial based property as well. That's what I would really like to do.
Okay,
Very nice.
So yeah,
gotcha.
Somewhere that is not afraid to make a little bit of noise, because again I want to bring in artists to perform.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's Eddie again. We feel ya. We feel ya. We're on the same journey.
Yeah, that was my only concern. I was like, well, are we going to be playing the drums a little too hard? In my basement, I don't care so much. They can do what they want. We can play as loud as we can. So,
right.
I'll definitely keep that in mind as I'm looking for a place.
Well, because it's really nice too when you can have bands that you can have people in that can really rock out.
Yes.
I mean, in here, I absolutely love it, but I'm more, again, 90s. I love the MTV Unplugged kind of acoustic type set. So I love when artists come in here and provide us those unplugged for us and our listeners. But to have the full band just rocking it
Correct,
out.
right? Because again, that's a full-blown drum set, full-blown bass player, and you may have a lead and a rhythm player. And so when you get 5 or 6 people in the band, it can get pretty loud, you know?
Yeah.
So
just soundproof it and after hours.
Right.
Maybe put it in, a little wink, wink, nod, nod. I'll give you, I don't know, something.
So the good thing is I can cater to kind of both setups, right? So it just depends what they're bringing in. If it's just a single pianist, and I've done that before as well.
So you have a piano in your studio?
I do, yes. Multiple
okay,
pianos,
perfect.
Nice, the full setup. That's
I have
very cool.
quite a few instruments.
Okay.
So being a multi-instrumentalist, I have bass, drums, guitars,
Nice. That's
keys.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is there one musician that you would love to have into your studio?
Maybe not necessarily one musician. There is a band that I've been looking at that's local that I would love to get. So if you're out there listening, I believe the name of the band is Maybe Ferns. They're a local female artist band that plays here local, and they played some pretty big gigs as well. And I would love to get them in the studio and invite them over and do a podcast interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be
Maybe
tagging them.
Ferns. Oh, I'm definitely going to tag them. So.
Oh, for sure. I love doing this for interviews. It's like if you put it out in the universe,
Right.
it will come.
That's right.
It's like the secret to success, right? You just put it out in the ether and you build it, they will come. That was a 90s movie, right?
That was, you know it.
I'm looking at you like, help me here. But yes.
Yeah, the other cool thing that I would say too is that, and again, I send this out in my welcome letter, but as people are coming in and they really don't know what to expect, right? But I'm like, hey, this is unfiltered, it's unscripted. I want it to be just straight from the heart.
Yeah.
And I say straight up music talk. Like even if we don't perform, we're just going to talk about music for an hour, or an hour and a half, whatever it is. And we'll get into chord signatures and chord progressions and we'll start getting into, the nitty gritty of music, right? And how you came up with this beat and how do you come up with that and BPMs and that kind of stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah, that's another thing that I like to talk about for sure.
So you are completely streaming,
Yes.
right? You're on YouTube. So you're not regulated by the FCC as well. Is that correct?
That's correct, right?
It's a great thing.
It is a great thing. It
is a great
is. You
thing.
just get to speak freely.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Everybody kind of has. Well, first of all, you grew up around music, I take it.
Yes.
So your family as well.
Right.
So,
Yes.
You've been in music your whole life, so it's no wonder why you wanted to do this.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Who are some of your influences? And I want to even expand on the question that Sarah asked. What musician of your influences would you want to interview the most?
Yeah. For me, I have to say my number one is Robert Smith from The Cure.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a huge influence for me and one of my favorite bands. If the band's listening out there, Iron Philly, they could tell you for sure, like, oh yeah, Eddie wants to add another Cure song.
How many Cure songs do you guys have in your?
We have quite a few, probably 3 or 4 already.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, and I sing a few, and then my lead singer, she sings a few as well, and But I would say probably 90s, and we grew up with music from from way back then. I was playing in a church band when I was 10 years old. I started playing drums. That was kind of my first introduction to instruments. I have a couple of family members that play music, and everybody on my mom's side were all musicians that all came from the church bands.
Okay.
And multi-instrumentalists. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's very interesting there. But for me, I would say the major influences is probably in the late 80s to 90s. The Cure being one of them. And, Radiohead is another one probably. Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Stuff like that. It's kind of been really the big inspiration for me.
Yeah, you're stuck in the 90s like me.
Yes.
It's okay. I'm stuck in the 80s.
80s is great too. I love the 80s.
I love the 80s, but a lot of one-hit wonders, and there's a reason why.
Right.
Where they didn't go into the 90s.
Yeah.
Why did I like this song again? Yeah. It definitely comes
You
up.
came to Denver how long ago again?
So I've been here since 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
What was probably one of the biggest surprises in Denver when you were going around trying to get into the music scene?
Yeah, let's see, surprises. I would say that, probably the amount of musicians within the city. I mean, I always knew that Denver was a big music city, but until I actually came here, had boots on the ground, right? Then when I started finding them, I was like, oh wow, there are a lot of musicians.
Right.
That was probably the biggest surprise, and then the great weather, I'd say,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
when I heard 300 days of sunshine, I was like, I don't quite believe it. Oh yeah.
What is it? February 9th, 10th today, and it's 80 degrees.
Yeah. It's
Like we're natives, and I'm floored.
right.
It's not normally this beautiful.
I know it. I know it.
There's a little tilt in the universe.
It's actually normally this beautiful. It's just colder and a little snowy.
That's true.
Because that's beautiful
Oh,
too.
way
That's
to
true.
take the high road
Yeah,
there.
thank you.
Appreciate that.
Next episode. So you have another episode coming up this Thursday.
Yeah, so this Thursday, actually, I'm going to be doing a flash jam. So we're not doing one this Thursday. I'm doing it on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Okay.
That's right. You
Yeah,
told me
yeah.
that. Okay. Yep.
right.
So
Yeah, and there's a gentleman by the name of Chris Romero that's coming in. And he's actually done a little bit of film work.
Chris
and-
Romero?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
we
love
know
him. He's in
him.
our
Oh,
rotation.
okay,
He's
very
been
good.
in here
Love
before.
him.
So
He's
Yeah,
awesome.
so he'll be on my podcast on Saturday, and I'm going to do one specially for him on Saturday.
Nice.
So,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
definitely
cool
I've not
guy.
met him, so I don't know him.
He's
and,
amazing. You guys are two peas in a pod.
You're
Nice.
gonna love him.
He's
Nice.
also a fast talker and
Okay.
very nice and personal, just like you.
Very
so
cool.
no, it'll,
Yeah, looking forward to
that's a
it.
match.
Hell
made.
yeah. Definitely tell him we say hi.
All
Yeah,
right,
no, he's
sure
great.
will.
You're going to have a good
Yeah.
time. But for the rest of the time, it's pretty much on Thursdays.
Right,
that
yeah,
you
for
do
most
come
time,
out.
it's Thursday evenings, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is the best place for people? I know on your social media platforms, you have links to your upcoming shows, stuff like that. Where is probably the best place for people to get notified the new one is coming up?
Yeah, so Facebook for sure, right? That's probably the main platform. Is the Local Vibe Facebook page.
Yep.
And then from there, I'll create events that have the YouTube links. So if people could to sign on to YouTube and subscribe and then hit the bell notifications, they'll be reminded of it. But then I also set up event calendar invites on Facebook.
On the Facebook as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing.
Gotcha. And for all of our listeners, again, it's just called the Local Vibe Music Podcast. That's on Facebook right there. Same with Instagram, Local Vibe Music Podcast. So very easy to find. And on YouTube, it's the exact same as well. So we have it scrolling on the bottom for all of the people watching the video. For the local artists on the radio, the local vibe 2025 at gmail.com. They can email. And right now you're scheduling into May, which is awesome.
Right.
Absolutely
yeah.
awesome. So it will take a little bit for someone who emails to get on. But let me ask this. On a Thursday when you do have people in, you start with music, or do you start with interviews, or do you just kind of feel out the band, see what's going on?
Yeah, typically I start with the music.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we'll come in, we'll mic check everybody, get everybody ready. I'll do a brief introduction, and then we go straight to the music. And the thing I always say is like, this is a music podcast. Let's play some music.
I like it.
So we'll start with that first, and then I'll do if the artists have a video or something like that, I'll play that in between, kind of as an intermission to get everybody sit down and get their headphones on, that kind of stuff, and then we'll do the interview podcast.
So even if artists have like music videos they want to share, they can do that on your podcast.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll play it straight up on the stream as well, and so that's why typically we've been going kind of an hour and a half or so if they're performing, and so I'll play a couple of their videos, and then we'll talk about their music, and we'll talk about the interview questions with everybody in the band. Yeah.
When it comes to bands that are listening, because also if you're just joining in, this interview is going to be on our K4CO Radio social media platforms for at least a month. We get a lot of viewership after that. For all the bands that are kind of listening, is there a certain genre that you haven't booked yet that you're kind of looking at? It'd be nice to have this type of band in.
Yeah, I would say probably some jazz musicians would be good.
Nice.
Yeah, because we've had a few little talks here and there about the power of jazz music, and I've always said, I'm not a jazz musician player by any means, but I respect jazz very, very much so. So to me, I would love to get a few more jazz musicians in there. That would be really cool. Yeah, maybe some horn players.
Yep, it'd be amazing. I'm definitely not a jazz person, but I used to hang out at the old El Chapultepec that unfortunately closed a little while ago. I think Dazzle is probably one of the only main jazz places now. But it was just absolutely amazing. It was so sad to see that go. I don't know if you've ever been to El Chapultepec.
I had not been there. Yeah,
but absolutely amazing. So,
nice.
And if you haven't been to Dazzle, definitely check that out.
Okay,
too. But if there's any jazz musicians out there that really want a good podcast to be on, check them out. I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you had many rappers and/or R&B artists come on?
I have a couple on the schedule. They have not done one yet as a live stream, but I do have a couple that are mentioned already, and I have them on the schedule. Yeah,
nice.
Awesome.
So
very good, very eclectic. It's nice to have every genre represented.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And again, I've done some country artists, some Spanish artists, rock artists, so a little bit of mix of everybody. Yeah.
Yep. No, and we absolutely love that here because, we wanted to kind of promote any and all the founders here love all types of music. So
Sure.
really worked in well with that.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
man, I'm looking forward to hearing more and more artists, especially artists that we don't know. I can't wait to collaborate a little bit with you.
Sure,
and,
absolutely. No, that's I
throw
was
some
looking forward
artists
to it.
your way too, because
Yes.
we know a lot of great ones that would be
Absolutely
make a good podcast.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, I'm always like, for musicians, the learning hat's always on, right? So again, we learn from each other, and I've been learning a lot from different musicians coming in the door. So
Right.
yeah, enjoying that for sure.
Definitely. We have a really good punk band. Have you ever had punk yet?
I've not had punk yet. I do have a band, a young band coming in here in a couple of weeks that I think they do a little bit of that. I think they're called Rifla is the name of them. So they'll be here in a couple of weeks in my podcast, and I think they do a little bit of punk. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Heck yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Also, this is a question for the musicians as well, because a lot of times, we do have bands come in and they say, well, we want, there's three of us, but on the recorded song, we have so much that we can't do it with a three-piece. Now, you can play videos, but can you also play songs and talk about those songs that are the recorded ones instead of live?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Very cool.
100%.
Well, make sure to check out Iron Philly as well.
Yeah.
Playing on the 20th which is Friday at Shifters, and the 28th at Nene's. Am I saying that right?
Yep, that's correct,
Nene's?
yep.
Okay, on the 28th. Cool. Well, yeah, if you like the 90s and want to,
Yeah, you'll definitely have a good time. It's a high energy band. So
High
we
energy.
we bring some energy, and Fast Eddie comes out there on the stage.
I love it. Listen to The Cure a little bit.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Get people dancing. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? Is that it's funny how I look at the band members like, see, I told you, every time there's a Cure song, people get on the dance floor.
They do.
Of course.
They do.
So,
Exactly.
They have a great time.
No, I know I'm definitely going to when I come out because I'm stuck in the 90s and I had fun in the 90s. I had a lot of fun.
You're still having
I'm still having fun.
That's
now.
right. That's right.
I'm still doing it. Make sure to go to YouTube and subscribe. Just check it out, the Local Vibe Music Podcast, especially since that's the best place to be notified when a new episode is coming up. But just keep it in your mind. It's pretty much every Thursday, but every once in a while it tweaks a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you can count on pretty much every Thursday, at least once a week, there'll be a podcast out there. And even if I'm on the road, I'll get somebody signed in mobile if I have to. I do have that capability as well.
Right.
I did that with one of the country artists. As a matter of fact, Jake Gill, he signed in via mobile. So
Nice.
yeah, I was able to get him. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And you have what's also nice too is that you have people dedicated to the sound
Right.
there, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just kind of take it all in and
Correct.
do a lot of the interviewing. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I do
great.
have a production guy that runs a production for me, so I can concentrate on interviewing the artists and spending time with them.
Perfect, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Very
All
cool.
right.
Well, Fast Eddie, it was nice to have you in.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm
Yeah. And the other
yeah.
thing that I'll say too is people are looking it up. You can't miss the logo because I have the mountains in the back, the Rocky Mountains. I did that intentionally because, again, from Colorado, right? I wanted to put the mountains there.
Yeah.
Right.
And although we may not have a lot of snow-capped mountains right now, they're still beautiful.
They are
They are
gorgeous no
beautiful.
matter what.
I'm curious what led you out to Denver how many years ago?
Yeah. So for work primarily, I'm in the mining industry.
You're in the what?
Mining industry.
The mining industry.
Yep. So I'm in safety and health. That's my full-time job. And so I came out here with an acquisition back in actually 2011 and then moved in 2012.
Nice.
Yeah. So been here ever since. And yeah, we're pretty much natives now because 14 years.
Don't say that to her.
I was trying so
right? You're like, no.
hard. Yeah.
No, I'm a native Texan, but we've been here, more than a decade already. And so, yeah.
You love it out here.
Oh, we love
like
it.
most people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good. Once you get a taste, you can't go.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
leave. Yep.
Yeah. And once you get a taste of the music scene too.
That's
'cause
right,
There's a lot
absolutely.
of great music scenes. I mean, I've always thought that Denver really needs to be kind of a central hub
Yeah.
of music, you know, and it is, but it's still kind of that underground kind of
Sure.
nice little pocket.
Yep.
But we're just as big as Memphis and other places. So Austin. I mean,
Austin city limits, right? Yeah.
exactly. Well, thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing some more podcasts from you. And for all of our viewers out there, definitely check it out, especially if you're a musician. Contact them. I'm going to say it again for all of our radio listeners. You can contact email or phone number, and the email is thelocalvibe2025@gmail.com. And the phone number is 720-460-6908. And people can text that phone number as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
Text would be great.
Love it.
Yeah, definitely check out on the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe the Local Vibe Music Podcast, and you can hear and see all of the previous podcasts. And subscribe, of course, to see the future ones coming up,
Yes.
because you can be booked out listening to good music scene. And again, musicians for sure, get your voice out there on another podcast, and to know the scene and see where else what else people are doing,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
very special as well.
Well, we really thank you again, because our big thing is promoting local Colorado artists and having a platform for them. And we love people who do the same thing and think the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. And looking forward to getting some more artists in there and continue to give back to the music community. So,
Definitely.
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, stay tuned, everybody, of course, on K4CO Radio. And if you don't have the app, do know you don't have to listen to K4CO Radio on the website. You can go to your app store for Apple or Android and download the app as well. And get a huge mix of music. A third of our whole rotation is Colorado musicians. The rest of the time, 40s through today, I mean, Frank Sinatra to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
So that's how the founders wanted it. Coming up, though, in about 45 minutes, every single day at 7 o'clock at night, 1 solid hour of Colorado musicians in our rotation. And then, of course, tonight we have Kind of Vague Radio, hosted by Andrew Talon and Rob Dixon, local musicians who host this show, and they really take a deep dive into Colorado music as well. And yeah, check out Fast Eddie. More Colorado music. There's so much out there. There's more than enough to go around for all of us.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
yeah, look forward to hearing a lot of musicians come your way.
Thank
So,
you.
thanks a lot, everybody, for listening in. I hope you have a wonderful Monday night, and stay tuned. You'll be hearing back from us tomorrow.